think what we are doing here is part of a global mobilization of the youths. And taking into consideration the fact that youths occupy about 50% of the world's population, it is incumbent on the youths to come together so that their voices can be heard.
Mobilization is increasing and the dangers that gives us to our environment, but also the opportunities.
To reduce its population in the last 3 decades. Then another thing is that the functioning of that national park and the importance of that national park to them. And how
the problem is animals goes to the boundaries. Because the area where we release them, these areas are protected. The animals don't know this is the boundary.
What kind of industries do we want to develop? Industries that we just accept any kind of industry. If we want to start up a nuclear energy plant.
The president or the executive director of the Organization for Gender Civic Engagement and Youth Development, OGCEYOD, the president of the Cameroon National Youth Council, FACO1, rather Limbe1, youths and students, partners of representatives of associations and civic society organizations, dear youths, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you all. It is with immense delight that I stand before you today to open officially this conference on the preparations of the UN Summit on Sustainable Development RIO+20 that will take place in Rio de Janeiro in June 2012.
Now going forward is what we actually have as recommendations. First things first, population overview. In 1992, the population 20 years on is 7 million. Look at his face, he's frowning. Oh, you guys! To reduce the population in the last 3 decades. Then another thing, when we talk about increases in population, we are talking about resources. When we talk of resources, I think okay. From Rio to Rio+20, what does that mean? 1992 plus 20 years. Is that true? Okay, next slide please. Rio+20, that's 20 years after the original Earth Summit. Heads of states government met at Rio de Janeiro in what we call the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development to discuss issues that concern sustainable development.
Also, we don't just end there, we also do some sort of sensitization program because there might be people living around the area. And if you don't sensitize them and just go release the animals, they'll know, oh, that's free meat coming. And in the next week or so, they'll kill the animals. So do some sensitization program. But the problem too is animals don't know boundaries. Because the area where we release them, these areas are protected. The animals don't know, oh, this is the boundary, I have to stay behind. They will cross, and sometimes they go out of the protected area. And if they're out of the
that much energy as an individual, and you have to multiply what you consume as an individual by 7 billion. And we're taking all of that from our environment. That calls us to think, to redeem. And that will drive us, let's look at where this energy that we use, where does it come from? Sources of energy. Can we just highlight from the sources?
Now, thank you very much for informing us about energy and all of this. We're going to have some more time for the questionnaire now. I would like to remind you that the questionnaire is our way of assessing this meeting. So everything that we are developing in this meeting is going to be shown by the questionnaire. So I really want you guys to put your minds into the questions and find some new ideas that you could put in there. And then when you finish the questionnaire, I'm going to announce a break, because then you can have some light refreshment and you will have time to get
thinking to get this good. So to keep them active. Whereas if you just keep them hand to hand, I think that's the case, then you are making that much to depend on us, on humans.
Do you have an issue that is disturbing you? Maybe the government, policymakers, something that you really want them to do to better your life? High unemployment rate. You see, nobody talked about the environment or climate change. That is why we are here. Here because we wanted to take bold and concrete decisions concerning what our policymakers, the decisions that they made 20 years ago. We want to use this opportunity to thank the representatives of the different institutions.
The objective of this workshop was to create awareness on the RIO+20 summit that will be taking place next year, and also to have the youths make some recommendations on the RIO+20 summit that will be taking place next year, educating them on what had happened before, the things that actually have been working ever since the heads of state they sat together, and also having them make recommendations on and forward to the head of state so that he can take to the RIO+20 summit next year.
So why did you organize the workshop? Did you find out that the youth were lagging as far as the environment is concerned and other vital things, or it is in line with your organization to organize such workshops, or just want to assist others who maybe are not doing what they're supposed to do?
Actually, it's in line with the objective of our organization. Recently, we organized a program in this same location, the Limbe Wildlife Center, to nurture youths to grow environmentally friendly. So it falls within the framework of our programs. And again, we realized that about the UN summit that took place in 1992 and to what will be taking place next year, the youths had no knowledge about it. So we are hoping that we came up with this initiative so that we will allow the youths get awareness on what has been happening since the year 92, and so that they can now make their recommendations, because they have a say on this, since they will be talking about the earth, and they are the future of our nation. So they have a say on anything, that decisions that have to be taken that concerns their future.
I want to say that it is very timely. If you take into consideration the fact that the Earth Summit took place in 1992, 20 years after, when another summit will be taking place in June 2012. I think what we are doing here is part of a global mobilization of the youths, and taking into consideration the fact that youths occupy about 50% of the world's population, it is incumbent on the youths to come together so that their voices can be heard. We all know that this summit, which is going to take place next year on the green economy and sustainable development, is very, very important, because any bad policy, the impact will fall back on the youth. So I want to start by, thanking and recommending the efforts of OGCEYOD for coming up with this wonderful initiative. And I want to say here that their recommendations will be forwarded to the head of state. And I know that the head of state is going to attend the meeting come to 2012 in Rio de Janeiro.
topics too I touched that were not extremely. I got to like know certain things concerning my environment and how, like, what I can do to improve the environment.
So you actually have benefited a lot from here. Now, Martinos, let me ask, what advice would you give to other students and Cameroonians of their age?
So students, I know students mostly scare away from such activities, like they are more interested in things that have to do with enjoyment of this year. So they should like get to attend such seminars, like such workshops, so that they will know, like, achieve more as I've achieved, like know how to preserve their environment, get to know more about interacting with the